guys, this is Sarah, and today is Wednesday, April 8th, which means it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is Top 5 Books You Wanted to Start Yesterday, which I took to mean books that every time you see someone else reading them, every time you see them on your shelves, every time someone mentions liking that book, you think, oh my gosh, I really want to read that, but you never do. And to be honest, I have quite a few of those, but I narrowed it down to the ones that are most pressing right now. Ones that are being mentioned extra at the moment, and it's making me think about it a lot more. So, let's get started. In spot number 5 is Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This book has been haunting me for so long. Recently, the sequel came out, so obviously everyone's talking about the sequel and talking about the first book. And ever since I found this book on Goodreads and I read the synopsis, I have been dying to read it. Dying. I find it so funny and interesting how, like, the premise of the book, how she twisted Dorothy into a bad character. And I found it so funny. The title to me was hilarious and so eye-catching, and I was like, oh my gosh, what could possibly have happened to make Dorothy bad? And I told my mom about it and everything, and she was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to read that. And I'm like, obviously read it. Isn't that so interesting to take such a well-loved, positive character and spin it to make it evil? I really want to read that book. In spot number 4 is Magic Study by Maria V. Snyder. I have read Poison Study now twice, and I have not continued on. This series is probably the one that has plagued me the longest. I read Poison Study the first time in 8th grade, and since 8th grade I've been wanting to continue, wanting to keep reading the series, and I never have. January, I reread Poison Study, and I got a little bit more into the series, reading one of the novellas between the first and the second book, but I still haven't gotten to the second book, and it's so frustrating because now we have an added series like Shadow Study came out, and that's like a continuation to this series, and the third series in the Chronicles of Ixia, and it's just like I am so behind on one of my favorite series, and it's insanity, and I need to read this, like really need to read. In spot number 3 is The Archived by Victoria Schwab. Victoria Schwab is one of my favorite authors, and I can say that with certainty, but I've only read one of her books, and it's one of her adult books. It was Vicious, and I still haven't read any of her young adult. I haven't read A Darker Shade of Magic, and every time I see someone reading The Archived, and every time I see The Archived on my shelf, on my Kindle, I just die and I want to read it so bad. So bad. Because the cover is beautiful, it's eye-catching, and I just love her writing, but I just haven't. I really should, I just haven't picked it up. In spot number 2 is Snared by A.G. Howard. This is the last book in the Splintered series, and I read the Splinter series last October, and Snared came out in January, and I still haven't read it. And it's mostly my fault. I really want to read it, and not just with this one, but with all the other books I mentioned. The themes that they fit in haven't come yet. And it sounds so stupid because, I mean, most people want to read something, they pick it up and they read it. But I am such a perfectionist. I am so organized that I have monthly themes for what I can read. And if the book that I want to read does not fit in that theme, I won't read it. Usually. Like, it has to be one that I have been dying to read, probably a new release, that I just have to read at that very second, that I'll just ignore my monthly theme. But Snared came out during my High Fantasy month, and there was no possible way I was going to read something that was not part of my favorite genre on the month of my favorite genre. And the month of retellings, which fits because Snared's an Alice in Wonderland retelling, is not until December. So I probably won't read it until December. And it's all my own fault. Even though I'm dying to read it, even though I could possibly be very, very spoiled from now until December, and yeah, I have problems. And in spot number 1, probably all of you are going to yell at me, how come I haven't read this yet? How come I haven't sat down and picked it up yet? It is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Now, this is a little bit different. I could pick this. I feel like this is such a well-loved series by so many people. When they first came out, I was in the United States, but they would look so thick. And at the time, I wasn't a big book reader. Like, I would read small books like Nancy Drew's, Babysitter's Club, that type of stuff, because my English was still like, eh. And they looked so big. So big that I just never picked them up. I never started reading them. And it's just been happening like that forever. Every time people read it, like last December, they had a Harry Potter read-along, and I just did not join in. I didn't want to. I feel like if I'm going to read Harry Potter, I'm going to read one book a month so that I can still do my themes and still keep my stuff organized and do the way that I want it to, but slowly but surely progress in that series. But oh my gosh, I'm such a procrastinator. I haven't picked up the first book. I mean, there are, what, 7 books? I should pick it up now. If I pick it up this month, then I'll be finished by the end of the year. No. It's not going to happen. I don't know why. I'm just really scared to pick up Harry Potter. It's such a thing that I feel like, one, I'm a little old to be enchanted by it for the first time. I don't know, maybe that's a bunch of baloney, but whatever. I feel like it. 2, if I don't like it as much as the rest of the world likes it, I'll be like ostracized and I won't be allowed to be part of BookTube anymore. I don't even know. It's such a big fear to go into something that's so well loved and it has such a huge fandom base that I still haven't done it, and I have no idea when I will. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your top 5 books that you wanted to start yesterday. Books that you have been dying to read but still haven't picked them up. Let me know your thoughts on my picks, on my reasons for not picking up these books. I feel like some of them are a little bit ridiculous, but I have to be honest with you guys because that's just how I am. So let me know your thoughts on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!